What's up, guys? I'm Cope,
Matt,
and I'm a very special guest this week.
What's up, guys?
He's back! He makes his triumphant return this week. And he's just in time for the very special movie, Avalanche Sharks.
It's very special.
They're sharks
Very special.
in the snow. You know, that title's very deceiving, first of all, because I remember the last review when I introduced the movie for next week, I said sharks in an avalanche? No, they didn't ride an avalanche.
No.
They were just in the friggin' snowy mountains.
Yeah,
so why are you even calling them? Just call them snow sharks. Why are you
Snow sharks would have been more catchy.
Why are you calling them an avalanche shark? That's a horrible
There was
title.
no avalanche.
It was. Come on.
You know what's so funny? They showed like the snow like becoming an avalanche, like the mountain explode, but you didn't see an avalanche.
It was
though.
so
You just saw
dumb.
an explosion.
So, right off the bat, before we get to any actual points, I just have to say, this whole movie was a hot mess.
I only saw like maybe 50. How long was the movie? An hour and a half.
Hour and 50.
Really?
No.
No. Was that long? An hour and 50 minutes?
No way. It was an hour and 50
It
minutes.
was either hour 50
No,
or
it was
30.
no, it was a 70-minute movie.
Who approved this movie?
It was an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 15 minutes.
Alright, so I probably saw 50 minutes into the movie. I probably was 50 when I came in. It was like 50.
Yeah, you had about 20 minutes left. I think. Yeah.
And that was the worst 20 minutes. So I feel bad.
It really was just a hot mess. It was just so confusing, and you're gonna hear a lot of our points be something similar to that. But let's just jump right into it. They're not actual sharks. That's what got me to at the beginning. You have these two snowboarders, and there's another guy you were explaining it to me. They purposely blow up parts of the mountain.
Yeah, they blow up parts of the mountain so when avalanches do happen, it's less snow.
Right, so they kind of spread the snow out
they
manually by themselves. Okay, so
wait,
something
it was
like
the sharks that caused the avalanches.
no, a guy.
A guy called...
it was like his job or
Not even
something.
the sharks would cause the avalanche.
No, what happened was the explosion knocked over these Native American totems that were holding the spirits.
That's why they were fell.
Right, exactly. So there were these totems, and once the explosion knocked them over, it released these spirits into the mountain again, which manifested as sharks. So once these two guys, the explosion happens near them. So once they get up, one of the guys just stands there, and this shark fin appears and then eats the guy. And I'm like, oh my god, they're spirit sharks now? They're not even just sharks. They're not.
Yeah.
They're like ghost shark spirit.
But
I feel like it's Scooby-Doo.
They look like ice.
Yeah, it's so strange.
They
I
look
felt
like
like
icicle sharks.
they were so weird. It wasn't even actual sharks. So
No.
let me get this straight. Avalanche Sharks is a movie about not actual sharks in a not avalanche.
Yeah. It was...
It was
Kudos to
It should
you,
have been
movie.
Indian spirit snow sharks.
You know what's so funny? At least sand sharks were sharks, and at least Sharknado was sharks.
We're actual sharks.
Avalanche sharks.
But these are like
sharks.
ghost spirit shark animal things.
Native American spirit sharks.
You had the next handful of points, actually.
Yes, so 12 minutes into the movie. Still doesn't make sense.
But doesn't make sense.
Wow, that was
That was the best point.
No, really.
I swear, ladies and
12
gentlemen,
minutes
listen, you can vouch, you can go back and look at the others. He's been doing very well lately. The second this one shows up, he loses his ability to speak. He's just like,
No, but
that's
that's
makes
what I
sense. That's it.
That's like 30.
That's all I wrote.
That's like 30 seconds into the movie. Still introducing everybody.
You can't even, but even in this movie, you can't even say they introduced people because they were so
No,
many
but
characters.
elaborate. Like, he's just like,
But
movie.
But that's all I wrote.
All right, what's your next point then?
There's too many characters.
What? What's the next point you have?
They were introducing so many different characters into this movie that 1 minute there's this person, another minute you got another person, and none of these characters were important. They just here's a character, this guy's gonna die now. Here's another character.
There was a random, well, I don't think it was random, but to me it was when I came into it. Was the police officer? Who the hell was this guy? He just seemed random to me. Like he just.
Oh, he was actually the head ski patrol guy. Right?
Yeah.
And then the owner of the resort fired the old sheriff, and they were like, you're sheriff now. To that asshole. Yeah.
No wonder he was acting like
Yeah.
a dick like that.
So, is that it for you? Did you have... Because
Oh,
I
the
got
other
1, 2...
point-
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4, I mean.
Yeah, the other point was the old man who knew about the sharks already.
The crazy old man, yes.
The crazy old man. They're at a... it's spring break. And they're at the little gathering, and this old man pops up out of nowhere and says this.
Was stuck up. Hey Duffy, could you stop sneaking up on people?
I love the fact that he just... what was his name? Shirkum?
Shook him.
Shook him.
Snook him.
It wasn't Snookum. It wasn't Snooky.
Snookums. It was Snookums.
So, now... And we did mark it. We're 28 minutes into the movie now. And still, there's just mass confusion. And I even wrote there's too many nameless characters. Like I think what they were trying to attempt was to set up different personal stories for each group. You know, like we'll have these spring breakers. We'll have the lodge owner, the resort owner. We'll have the ski patrol. We'll have the Marine and his girlfriend. Like they were trying to set up all these individual stories that were supposed to kind of intertwine and connect with each other because of these sharks, and it just didn't work out because all it looked like were just separate, chopped up scenes of random people bullshitting or going about that day. It just did not work. There were too many nameless characters. You only remembered like a handful of them by the end of the movie. Not their names, but just by the way they looked. And the rest of them just faded into the background. Yeah. And it just didn't make any sense. They did a horrible job setting up their characters.
Yeah, like you find out the one girl, she was there when it started from 25 years ago.
And that the old man saved her.
Yes.
The crazy old man saved her.
The crazy old man saved her, and she just happened to be a marine biologist.
I feel like from what I saw, they've kind of forced personality inside these characters. Like, the acting just sucked, so it didn't seem real.
Yeah.
Very fake, like, very acted out fake, so it didn't... Like, the way the guy was acting, the marine dude, I was like, what the hell is this? Even the girl, but she's like, oh no. It was just no emotion.
But I love that old man, though, only because when you find out that this girl's family died from these sharks 25 years ago, and she's like, you know, and my guardian angel saved me. I don't know how I was saved. And he just pops in. He's like, I saved you. He's like, I put you on my sled. I saved you. But what do you have? You have a...
No, my points are done.
Oh, okay. Well, we get to this point.
We
get to this point where nameless girl number 20 and nameless guy number 47. Like, it's just, that's how many characters were in this movie. They're hiking through the woods, and all she wants him to do is tell her that...
His name was Mark.
Mike. His name was Mike. Her name was... Something with a B. Not Beth.
But...
Something with a B. We're going to say Beth. It wasn't Beth? Whatever.
Sure.
Like I care. So,
her name is Beth now.
So it's Beth. So all she wants Mike to do is like tell her that he loves her, and he just can't get those words out. And they're at this big standoff in the middle of the field. So by the way the scene was set up, you already knew what was going to happen. And she's like, why can't you just say it? Just tell me that you love me. And he doesn't say anything. She's like, fine, I'm leaving. And then boom, shark comes up and bites her whole fucking lower body off. So he runs away. And she's dead. So he meets up with the Marine and his girlfriend. And...
Barb.
There you go, Barb. So he meets up with... He bumps into the Marine and his girlfriend. And he's like, whoa, what happened? You know, what's going on? He's just like...
Hurt? It ripped him to pieces. Who did? The animals. The animals? Yeah. What animals? Were they wolves? I mean, why didn't I tell her? I mean, she was waiting for me. Why didn't I tell her that I love her?
And the dialogue being horrible at this point and fake... Like, the difference between bad dialogue and bad acting and fake acting. Like,
yeah.
He just couldn't even portray
the
remorse
scene,
or sadness.
exactly.
So there's a difference between bad dialogue that you just can't act or fake dialogue.
Yeah.
That you're just putting out those lines because you were told to and you're reading off paper. It bothers me. And so if the fake dialogue wasn't bad enough, we get this. Just constant spinning around the two characters over and over and
the bickering you're talking about?
Between the Marine and Mike. No, and Mike.
What do you mean?
Before you came.
Oh, no,
before you came.
The camera,
and the camera just spun. around them
you serious?
for dramatic suspense, and it didn't really work because I was getting nauseous from all the spinning, and I was like, they're really still going. Like, holy shit! This camera guy stuck to his guns going around them. I couldn't even. I was like, stop spinning. Just stop spinning! I can't! Stop!
Fast forward.
Oh my god, I wish I did.
There was a couple of scenes where we should have fast forward.
We should just fast forward it.
Like
From the moment the timer said 1 second to about the time it said an hour and 10 minutes, we should have just fast forwarded the whole fucking movie.
Like when we were watching all the people ski and snowboard for that whole 20 minutes.
They kept trying to do establishing shots. You know, an establishing shot where, like, if we're in this basement, the establishing shot would be outside the house. They do in old TV shows and everything. Just to show where the characters actually are at this point. Yeah. So they kept trying to do establishing shots of where they were, but instead it just ended up being these, like X Games montages of people snowboarding and skiing and doing tricks over and over. I'm surprised they didn't just recycle the same footage.
They probably did.
They probably did in the same movie.
We were just getting so annoyed.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times we just sat there and we're like, this movie... I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
I can't take this movie.
I bet. No, I remember those.
And a lot of the deaths in this movie. What?
Rubber. We couldn't sit through that shit.
Oh my god.
We gotta turn this shit off.
A lot of the deaths in this movie were very similar. They were all carbon copies of each other, where it would start where the shark bites a leg, and then the whole person gets eaten, or it bites both legs, and then the whole person gets eaten. They all pretty much had the same exact, like, momentum to them. They were all step 1, step 2, now you're dead, and that was it. But then the old man getting eaten. I thought he was going. You were here for that part. Were you just stabbing at the shark?
He's just stabbing at the shark as the shark's like halfway like up.
I thought he was already dead. And all of a sudden he just comes back. He's like, I was like, oh,
he took him for real. I thought he took him.
But then the Marine solves that problem for us. That took me. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I thought he was aiming for the shark, and
I even asked. I was like, "Is it safe to say that this guy might not actually be the good guy of this movie?" Because he also does this.
Get off him!
Just elbows his girl right in the face. Boom! I mean, I know Marines have, they're traumatized and they have PTSD. But damn.
But he looked at her and was like. He was just like, fuck you. But that was a fuck you elbow. And that's what I was.
But she took it like a trooper. And he's like, I'm sorry. And she's like,
she did not bleed.
She's like, it's okay.
Bro, she did not bleed. You have to at least have your nose broken.
Yeah, I was expecting her hand to move. And but no.
Bro, she did not bleed once she... Oh my god, no, it's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I'm so sorry,
I can't tell you how many people I wish I could elbow in the face. And just be like, sorry. I'm like, alright, no problem.
At all.
I'll get an ice pack. I'll put it on this.
So, that shit hit her hard. She went down, but no damage.
It was a joke.
No damage.
Oh, God. So...
I was just kidding.
What you get is this one girl throughout most of the movie where she doesn't really talk. She doesn't really understand English that well. She doesn't speak it that well. And she finds her way in the backside of the mountain, and she finds where these totems were. She has no idea what they are. She's just an innocent bystander who was thoughtful enough to say, let me put these back upright. Because...
That was the real reason, because I was on my phone a little bit too, so I probably missed that. But I thought she seemed like that. But
I thought she was gonna be.
She was like the predecessor or something.
I thought she was supposed, because what they explained was that
her prophecy
the last time,
there, some shit like that.
Right, the last time these sharks showed up, they said it took a shaman, like an actual shaman, to put them away again. So then when she got to the totems, I was like, she's secretly the shaman. Like, undercover, going there to solve the problem. But, no, she honestly just sat there and was like, these back up. So each totem she put up took away another shark. I think there were like 5 in total. And that's literally what the climax of the movie was these last few surviving people, which was the Marine's girlfriend, and the girl who survived 25 years ago. They were the last 3 surviving people. And it was just a matter of them surviving long enough while not even actually knowing what this other girl was doing, but she was just putting up the totems. Yeah, exactly. And then after she put up the last one, the shark disappeared, and they just went home. But of course, we get the girlfriend saying, don't look back. Don't ever look back. And what's the first thing the Marine does? Because he's a Marine, no one tells him what to do.
But it wasn't even like... It wasn't even like... It was just weird the way he looked back, though. He was like, no! Like he looked back like an idiot.
You would think she said, "Don't look back," and he was like, "What? Look back? What's back there?" And then, of course, we get, you know, in the cliche horror fashion, or horror fashion in this sense, where it cuts back to the totems, and one just topples back down, so the spirit is released again, and the shark bites the camera, and screen fades to black, and we get credits. Thank God. Thank God.
So let's get to rating this movie.
Do we have to? Like, do we actually have to talk about this movie anymore?
Let's just rate it and just say what we give it. I give it an F minus.
I give it an F. F. You. Avalanche. Sharks.
I give this movie an F. Even my good graces of being a generous grader cannot save this movie. It's an F across the fucking board. This movie was horrible. It was terrible. It was boring. It was confusing. Too many characters. And it's just not even.
You know what's worse than an F? I give it a 64, where it's 65 is passing, but they gave you a fucking 64. They can't give you that extra point, so you're pissed off at yourself. That's what this movie is.
That's what this movie
fucking
is.
64.
That's like this movie's a kick in the balls right there. So that's our bad movie review for this week, which is Avalanche Sharks. Tune in next week when we bring you Jack, the Giant Killer. Right?
Yes.
I already seen the Netflix thing on this shit. This shit looks stupid. I was just like, no.
So that's next week. So as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think we can do better or what movies you want us to check out. And as always, I'm Cole.
Matt.
I'm Brandon.
Maybe not always, but he's here today. And we'll see you guys next time. Later.